sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, this is Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun game on Atlantic here with the mighty Daring, one of the best British DDs out there, and really putting some hate on a Smaland and a Kitakami, and we'll get to more of that in a bit with a little bit of strategy. But before we begin, like, subscribe, bell button below. You like to support the channel, and thank you guys for all those who support the channel. Love the comments, love the criticism. It's great. We get better every single day, and we're all about this community, about growing and building, and just having a blast, sailing ships, shooting ships, and having a blast all at the same time. So hope you guys are doing well, but let's get right to it. So this is the map Atlantic. We're in the Daring. Forgive me, this is a old map. I'm not using the Groves Avoid there, but we're using this map just as a reference because I don't have any other screenshots of it. But this new strategy that I've been coming up with and trying to figure out actually kind of plays a little bit better for the type of play style that I like, and also with our team. And it works with almost any kind of player. You don't necessarily have to be good or bad. It's really just working as a team and moving in unison. So let's talk about this map, Atlantic. It's unique because of these islands right here, because it gives you many options as to, do you want to go through the middle, get sniped from Charlie? Do you want to go through... do you want to, go through the middle channel and make it even a daring, get it? No pun intended. A daring move right down the middle and just blitz them head on and go for Bravo, because my goal is always get Alpha Bravo, because why? Charlie's off by itself, and it's just too far to come back and rescue, right? And you also have the option of going all full round the flank right here and flank Bravo from that side, giving your team the ability to defend A and B against C, again, like a pincer move, shooting from two different directions a little bit better, but of course you got to move in unison and quickly. I normally don't attack from the middle because the middle kind of opens your broadside up to open shots like that. So we normally don't do that. So the new strategy I'm thinking is we're going to send one cruiser or destroyer, just somebody to just really throw off the enemy team. Because why? I'm assuming the enemy team is going to split up. Most of the time I've encountered this, most of the enemy team will split up, and then the bulk of our force will move to Bravo and flank, and then have two ships in the background that will defend as well, maybe like a battleship right here and a cruiser right there to deflect any kind of oncoming enemy team movement into the north. And that's kind of how we would maneuver. And again, you always have to assume what the team is going to do, because you got to make an educated guess. You don't know what anybody's going to do without seeing them or spotting. So what I'm thinking is most likely they're probably going to split their forces up, right? I've seen the battleship stay in the middle. We'll have a destroyer and cruiser players stay right here, while the bulk of their force moves to Charlie, or the battleship stays in the middle so they can shoot in different directions. That's kind of like what I'm anticipating. So what our strategy in this particular setting is, we're going to have one guy go to Charlie. That could be a cruiser, destroyer, whatever, as long as it's somebody quick and fast and that has good enough armor and firepower to kind of repel and just hold off this enemy advance. The whole purpose of this is to slow them down. By slowing them down, distracting, I'm taking 50% of their firepower and keeping it at Charlie, while the rest of our bulk of our force will move in mass in order to flank the enemy. So really what I'm going to do is have all three destroyers move together. We're going to obviously cap Alpha. That's an easy cap right there. We'll have one of the cruisers go with us. And then, of course, we'll have one cruiser to defend Alpha and a battleship in tow to kind of make a quick adjustment, either continually firing from long range, defending A and supporting this cruiser, but also if we need to push, we can push down the middle after we've cleared it. So this is kind of what the strategy is going to look like. These destroyers are going to move out, eliminate either their destroyer head on. There's probably destroyers not going to be ballsy enough to go right through the middle. They'll go kind of right there. We'll eliminate it 3 versus 1. And then the cruiser players or battleship or whatever is left over here, I don't know what's going to be in this area. That way they'll probably want to push out, because I haven't seen anybody stick around when you have 4 on 4 versus 1, 4 versus 2 after you eliminate this destroyer. It's really difficult to defend against that. And once you have that, you push everybody out. Once you've eliminated these players, now you have Alpha in Bravo cap, and you're pretty much holding and defending against any kind of counterattack, or whatever you want to call it, regrouping, because now you're just holding this wall of line. And look, you got Alpha and Bravo easy to go back and forth to defend. The distance is a lot smaller, as opposed to the distance for Charlie is greater. There's a lot of islands in the way. They have to go weaving in and out, and there's channels forcing the ship to actually kind of expose themselves to certain weird angles and not getting all their guns to bear, while we're getting all this and these perfect angles. I wouldn't say perfect, but beautiful angles that allow us to shoot right into these gaps right here. Sorry, right there. And then, of course, we can shoot into that gap right there. We can also shoot into this gap right here after we've obviously moved all around their flanks and so forth. So this is really a little bit better strategy for just easy to defend, easy to movement, moving together, not too complicated, and you're not spread out thin. So let's take a look at the video and see how it goes, and hope you enjoy it. Hey team, it's Ripper, and we're back here right off the bat, right in the action. You can see our team maneuvering to Bravo Cap, engaging a Smaland right in the middle of the heart of the Hornet's Nest right here. We're switching to AP right now. Good DD player knows that a Daring, and the Daring class has great AP, great angles. Switching to AP, just melting away the Smaland with a little bit of help of our friends, and boom, splash one. He goes down. We're taking half the damage right there, and we smoke up, make sure we're covering our maneuverability. Assuming he launched torpedoes, we're going to always kite away and have our hydro up just to make sure, and that is a sign of a good destroyer player as well. Moving together in unison with your other destroyer players, communicating and spotting as well. We're going to keep the push going right here as we talked about it before. Our Guten Lao up in the north has thrown off the enemy at Charlie, just making sure that they stay at bay, making them think that we have a majority of our team up there. And then the rest of our battleships and cruisers are in the back guarding A, while the bulk of our attack right here is with destroyers. 3 destroyers versus their 2. We've eliminated 1, which gives you now the upper hand, because I've always said the destroyer player is the key component to winning this game. Because why? You do everything. And the best destroyer I've seen to be able to do almost everything that you need to do is the Daring. And we'll talk about the Daring in a minute while you're watching in the background, how we're starting so many fires, getting a lot of ships, getting them running away, getting afraid of, hey, do we have a threat from a Daring, getting spotted, getting set on fire, getting torped at, all types of things that the Daring is a great multi-role fighter in regard to doing that. Also, the cool thing about the Daring I like is the heals, because what I've always said that a destroyer that has the ability to survive the long game is a much better suited one that has heals, or damage repair, or whatever you want to call it, but basically being able to come back to life, if you want to call that. But that's why I think it's very important. I've got Superintendent, so we have extra heals so we can repair the damage from the mistakes that we made. Whether I made a mistake or just absorbing damage from a Smaland allows me to take on a Smaland a little bit better than if I didn't have the heals. Of course, the Smaland also has heals, but unfortunately cannot absorb as much damage as the Daring can. The other cool thing I like about the guns, you can see how many fires we can start. The fire rate on this thing is pretty incredible. The fire chances, you notice, I'm going to start a lot of fires just by shooting at the cruiser, destroyer, whatever player, and it really starts fires just so that quickly and that simply, and I like that, because what you want to do, the biggest enemy to a cruiser or battleship is fires, because you can't really do much about it. I mean, a fire is a fire. No armor in the world can deflect a fire, right? But the more and more shots you get on target, the more fires you have to start from a Daring. The other thing you saw earlier with the Smaland is I switched to AP. Now, if you know the Vampire or the Daring class kind of destroyers, their AP is literally second to none. It's got one of the best angles. It's got the best DPM and the high fire rate. Very, very incredible. Very, very powerful for this type of class if you're looking for that role. And it's very, very effective and powerful. So I like using the AP on the British line destroyer. So if you ever check and look at that, check that out. The AP is phenomenal and incredible. Torpedoes are kind of average. They only go to 10 kilometers. If they went out to 12, that's where the Vampire plays a good role. The Vampire and the Daring have similar torpedoes, but the Daring has only 10 kilometers, while the Vampire 2 has 12. But you get two torpedo tubes for or torpedo salvos for the Daring, and it's a little bit better that way. It also has the quick smokes that the British destroyer line has, which I like, because look, I got 7 of them to start off the bat. If I'm using Superintendent, I really can just pop those smokes off whenever I'm in danger, or if I want to farm real quick and get out of trouble. It's very, very situational dependent. That way it allows me to get out of jail free card at any moment, and it's pretty cool. As you can see, we're starting on more and more fires on the Kremlin. The Kremlin can't do much other than get torped by our... Look, he's getting torped, he's getting shot at, he's getting set afire, he's getting citadel, he's getting misdirected here. His ship is now being tossed and turned to give an optimal angle for our Montana to shoot full broadside salvos, because why? He's more worried about the destroyer players torping and shooting him at the rear there, so he has to kind of run away and expose that citadel to a battleship. We're getting torped right here. We normally should have our Hydra up, but that is the Kitakami out in the distance. That is a new cruiser that is available for the new auction or trade-in resource thing that's out there right now, where you can get the defense or the Kitakami. This is a good video to show you that this is not worth a ship that I would not spend that amount of resources on, and I'll show you why. But before we begin, we got the heals like I would talk about and the hydro, as always, for the daring. The speed and acceleration is incredible on the British destroyer line. It's not the fastest destroyer, but it does accelerate pretty quickly and moves quickly. Concealment is pretty good. At 6.5 is the build I have right now because I didn't take Concealment Expert. I kind of don't care about Concealment Expert these days in destroyer because why? I can always smoke up, shoot, and engage right off the bat anyways. Now, here's the Kitakami right in front of me. You can see he's using his smoke, his crawling smoke, or whatever smoke screen they like to use. But you can see without any support or anything, it's really a useless ship. And really, the torpedo tubes reload so long. I mean, normally I would say if the Kitakami reloaded all 40 torpedo tubes all at once in 3 to 4 minutes, that's fine. That way you can launch a whole full spread. But look, he has to wait, and now he's being exposed because now you have a destroyer coming after you, and he's a cruiser now. It's not a destroyer anymore. The Kitakami was a destroyer, now it's a cruiser, which means it has a citadel, which we're switching to AP. Once he goes full broadside, we'll use the AP. But if he's going to go nose in, I'll switch to HE and try to start some fires on him. And notice his guns are little pea shooters. They're really nothing to gawk about, and that's it. That's all he's got. He's got the smoke, his little body, slim profile. His torpedo tubes are taking forever to reload, and I can blow them all up right now using HE. And of course, he's going to show his broadside, exposing his citadel. And as you can see right here, kablowy, and boom, splash 2. He goes down, and yeah, that just proves to you how weak the Kitakami is. It's just without support or any kind of successful role the Kitakami can do is other than torp spam. This is pretty much like a Colbert or a Smolensk, where your primary goal is to spam a lot of one type of ordnance, and that's all you can really do. You can't really go in and cap. You can't really spot. You can't really do anything like a destroyer player or maybe even an effective cruiser player, radar cruiser player can do, because you don't have any of those abilities. So really, a Kitakami's in the gray area of just worthlessness. I mean, not really a destroyer, not really a cruiser. It's just a big platform to torp spam and for the memes, right? Somebody's saying, good game, Ripper. Yep, I love you guys out there that are just chatting with us, having a great time, very polite, very courteous. We're all having a great time together, and I like that. Keep it up. I like the camaraderie out there as well. It's really fun to know that there are fun people to play with, and that's what we want to do to build a community and get better. But let's recap right here. So you can see the strategy, how it worked. We capped Alpha Bravo, and the other team, the enemy team, is at Charlie, and there's nothing they can do other than come through those gaps and get focus fired on everybody. The Golden Blue did a great job holding back the enemy force flanked from the north at Charlie, and they couldn't do anything other than they have to forcefully push through Alpha Bravo because they're running out of points and they just have nowhere else to go. So try out that strategy, guys. Let me know what you think. Sending one guy off to one cap, throwing off the enemy while the bulk of the force pushes to the closer of the caps. Appreciate all the support. Like, subscribe, button below. Giving a free premium DD giveaway at 2,000 subs. Appreciate everything you guys have talked about. Leave a comment below. As always, hope you guys are doing well. Happy holiday season. And if I see you guys out there, be sure to drop a like and say hi as well. Hope you guys are doing well, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.